So tell me a little bit about those early years. Let's start with, the birth of your children. Because what I see in you is a real heart for other moms with children, like young children, I mean. Anybody who has any kind of challenge that they're facing. And I guess I'd like to know a little bit about where that might have come from.
Yeah, like of course, always since little, my main dream, it was to have babies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then I thought, oh, I get married and right away I have kids and, I have my whole plan in my life and, like all organized like Miryam is. Well, surprise, and, we had to do he had some issues and we had to do examinations and it didn't work, and so it was a time of like, I don't know, like 5 years I think, trying and nothing happening. So eventually we ended doing in vitro, and then it was hard, very painful and hard. It's like the process is like a roller coaster too, and a lot of depression and stuff. Like it's very hard. It's very emotional. And so finally, they put the 2 embryos and then they 2 attach, and that's how I got twins, right? And I thought, okay, that now is everything's good, and the dream and the happy ever after and stuff, but it was something going on, and my doctor really wasn't listening too much to me. They're twins, they have no room and stuff, but that kind of had that gut feeling like, oh, I think there's something going on here. So then I went to early labor, and then the
How
kids,
early?
3 months. So
That's like really early.
they were 2 pounds, 11 ounces. They were just tiny little things. And Alexander, it was the first one.
Of course, because you were going to have a boy first. Of course.
So, but he was born with the bleeding on the brain, and he had apnea, so he had to stay in the hospital for like 3 months with oxygen. Sophia, she was revived at birth, but she didn't cry or anything, but she was doing fine, like she didn't really need so much oxygen and stuff. But they say girls do always better. And at that time, my marriage started just it changed. It changed when he traveled to a job when the kids were here. My mom was here for like 6 months. Like It was like amazing, because it was lack of sleep. They were sent to London because they didn't have room on Sick Kids Hospital, only one spot. So then of course I had to have the 2 at the same hospital. So we spent a lot of weeks there in Ronald McDonald House, and staying there because they only have 50% chances of surviving. And I saw Alexander turning gray many times, and the BP noise, it was having to just stimulate him and stuff. It was very scary, and not being able to hold your baby. I mean, and that was very hard. More when I have them, and everybody have their babies with them.
Of course.
And there is me.
They're happy. It's a big celebration, and you're full of fear.
No, I only had 2 pictures, and they took them. I couldn't see them like 4 hours later. I just was able to touch them and say bye, because they couldn't send me to London. They didn't have ambulances or something like that. So then Sophia went on helicopter. I don't understand why she went to a helicopter. Alexander was more sick, but anyway, he went on an ambulance and Sophia in a helicopter, and my ex-husband had to drive me the next day because I said, I'm not gonna wait until you guys have an ambulance. I'm going. I don't care about surgery. I'm gonna go to see my kids.
Of course.
And then that's how the journey started, right? And so then we moved back when the kids were home finally. Sophia was home first, but she ended up going back to the hospital because she was choking with the milk. For preemie babies, I mean, they always have issues.
Yes.
And my mom was there again. She went back after her 6 months, come back again to help. So oh my God, like honestly, I'm gonna just thank her forever.
Oh,
Because
she's such an amazing woman and
it's
such a
just
support
hard.
for you.
Yeah.
Even from Mexico to here, she's
Yeah.
still.
I mean, it was like a
Strength
lot
to
of
you.
no sleep, and she didn't care.
Yeah, God bless
Like
her.
she didn't care. She was there for me like the whole time. Even when I was just like, ugh.
Because it was pretty obvious from the beginning that for whatever reason your former husband wasn't going to be able to provide you with the type of support, the depth of support that you really needed to parent these children, unfortunately. And so can you talk a little bit about, there were some issues, we probably don't need to get into the issues that broke the marriage down, but when it came time for you to make a decision, again, what I'm trying to get at is just the strength you find inside yourself. Like, where does this strength come from? You're in a new country, you've got 2 children, not just one. They have very high needs, and you're starting to have issues around the marriage, and yet you still find that strength inside of yourself, that strength that your mom sort of instilled in you when you were a little girl. So can you talk a little bit about some of the things?
And I think on this it was a big, I had to mention it. It was a big eye opening when all these issues that we went through, and then suppose they were clear and things that were doing good, and then we're gonna have fun and then be all happy and stuff, la la la. But things changed, and then they went back to old stuff that I said, I'm not gonna do that with my kids. I went through a lot. I'm not gonna do that with little ones. And I remember going to, like, I asked him to just take a break and just go with his family and appreciate his family and babies and wife and stuff. And I remember going to one of those Al-Anon meetings. That was a big eye opening for me. Seeing all these ladies, like, 80 years, like, oh, I've been living with my husband that drinks for like 45 years. Like, and I'm thinking, oh my God, well, you just step away from a relationship like that, right? Like, I just think if you have a something that is not healthy, what's the point? Like, I think it's a big excuse when you said, oh, I stay because the kids. No, you don't stay because the kids. You're staying because you're scared, or because so many times you're scared of changes, right? And what I remember my mom always telling me, it was like, think always before you never act on emotion. Always think many times what you're gonna do and what decisions you're gonna take, what is the good things that are gonna come up with that and the bad things. Always analyze it and balance it. But before you decided, you always had to think about. No, by emotion, yeah.
Good advice.
And I did. I just really said, I don't think this is gonna work. I don't think so. But of course, it's like I was living pretty much in the country, like close to a mini. So it's like I don't really know a lot of people. I just knew the moms from the YMCA that I was doing those classes of mom and baby and stuff. And I talked to Andrea and I said to her, I think I need to move, right? And then I said, but I have nobody to help. Like, I mean, I'm pretty strong and I can wall up, but I cannot move a washing machine or a fridge.
Well, you might be able to now.
Like, that's pretty awkward. You really need a man with that, and not even really know any man, right? Like, I just know ladies, of course, because I'm never gonna have a friend at that time. So she said, well, just put it out there on the mom's group, and then who knows? And then, Miryam, like, I don't like to ask for help. But my mom said, well, why not? If she said that, you should ask for help, just ask for help. What can happen, tell you, no?
Yeah.
And it was amazing. It was about, like, I don't know, it was like Lisa, Angie, Andrea, Deborah with her husband, that now we're all friends. And, it's amazing. they went and they helped me to move. Even a stranger from my neighbors. I remember going to see my neighbor and I said, "Oh, you know, this is happening. Like I will need help." And then the girl said, the teenage girl said, "Oh, I have some friends and I have like 10 teenage kids
Oh my
like helping
gosh.
too." And the day before, so then they helped me to move some parts to the new place so my mom can stay with the kids, and then the following day we just finished to do the other stuff. And but we move on, like we finished to move on a Saturday, so the Friday there was like a big storm, snowstorm, like 3 days before, and I had to have all clear because the truck,
moving
right?
That's right.
And I remember saying to my mom, "I'm just gonna go shovel the snow." I mean, it's like
A
a
lot.
lot. So I stayed like 3 hours shoveling the snow, and I came back like, oh, for like I didn't tell her,
Frozen
like,
solid.
And my legs, I remember, they were like purple, and my mom was like crying, and I'm like, "Why are you crying?" And like, "Well, I'd like to see you like that." And I'm like, "I'm okay, don't worry, it's okay." But she was like so concerned about
Well,
me.
because you're still her baby,
Yeah.
right?
Of course. So anyway, they helped me to move on Friday, and I can't, like, honestly, like one day I will write a book. I'm just waiting to have a happy ending. But the Friday that we had, the only thing is stay in the house. I mean, the house is soaking wet, all the carpets, because I cannot be asking people to take their boots. I mean, they're helping,
course.
right? And they're carrying stuff. So everything is soaking wet, and this house don't have furnace. It's all like wood stove, right? So it's empty. So of course it's colder, right? And everything is damp. So the only thing that we got, it was the mattress on the floor and blankets. So there is Pete and Felix, my other cat, my mom, Alexandra, Sophia, and me, all like cuddling.
All together, huddled together on the mattress on the floor
Oh
in the
gosh,
cold
it
house.
was, yeah, yes.
But it didn't deter you. It's almost like it, like literally lit a fire under you.
Yeah, I'm that kind.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
And when you see
you hit
people,
me the negative priorities.
exactly. But when you see people who are in similar situations, your heart just goes out to them, and
Yeah.
it's so obvious that the little projects that you have been involved with, where you reach out to other people, you know, that genuine love of other people, it lights you up. It's something that really lights you up. And okay, so let's go forward from there. So then you were on your own, and you made a really good start for yourself. You were determined, like you had a goal, and so I would like you to talk a little bit about the setting of goals and how important that is for you to have a goal to work towards. Because what I see is that you set a goal, you reach it. You set a goal, you reach it.
Yeah, I'm like an unsatisfied person.
And your goals aren't like
never,
these little tiny
Yeah.
goals. These are like, well, I'm going to have my magazine.
Yeah.
So I'd like to hear a little bit about.
Well, that's when I see a lot of women that, I mean, I know what is depression. Like I went through that. Like I know, like I don't judge, but I know that everyone were capable to reach out and get out of depression. Like your mind is like so powerful, and then you can help yourself and just dig yourself into a big hole. And when I see somebody that, you know, they're stuck, like I had to kind of go and talk to them and try to make some sense and tell them, you know, like I'm not a Canadian citizen, but I mean that's not my country. Like I have no family. I'm a single mom of twins that they're challenging kids, or, you know, and I'm running my own business. Now I even have time to go to the gym. Like it's no excuses. I mean, when you want to do something, you just go and do it. You just, like, if how bad you want it, then sleep less. I mean, like, but every time I see somebody suffering, I can just stop and just don't do something about it. I just have, I guess, too much empathy that I, like, if I can put a cape and just be a superhero, I will be a superhero. It's just priceless for me. Like it's like a high. when I make somebody smile or somebody happy, just like it just, God, it's just, I can explain how it feels. It's just like it makes me so happy.
That's really amazing. I mean, a lot of people would choose the what do they say, the path of least resistance. It's just easier to do nothing than it is to do something. But you chose to set really big goals for yourself, and part of what you did for yourself was to set a goal for your own business. But you also had this sort of sideline thing that just amazes me, that is about, while I'm doing my business, I must be giving back to the community. I must be doing something that is impacting the community. And that, I think that was one of the things that really drew me to you in the very beginning, because that's kind of me, you know, and that is very important to me as well. And so it was something that we had in common. But can you talk a little bit about your goal of, first of all, your goal of your business, and what you wanted to see happen with your business?
Well, with the magazine, pretty much, I thought, like, you know, every time I talk to someone and I tell what I went through and stuff like that, and then like, oh my God, for real? Like, how you do that, right? I just see the need of sharing it, because then, you know, when you hear somebody that is going through the same than you feel like the empathy, right? Like, then you just feel, oh, I'm not alone. Like, and then it gives you kind of like a kick, you know. You say, well, if this person can do it, why I can't?
Exactly. I remember when the magazine was just in its real infancy stages, and we sat down, and I think it was in Hazelton's, and we talked about, you know, what is it that we really want to see with the magazine. And what you said was, one thing that really stood out for me was, there are so many amazing women out there, and nobody knows.
Nobody knows their story.
Nobody knows their story.
Yeah.
And other people, if they knew their story, could be very encouraged by that story, and they could maybe see themselves in that story and say, well, if that person can do that, then so can I. And I think that has really been sort of that foundation for the magazine. So so you made this decision, I'm going to have this magazine that you dreamt about when you were 6 years old. And now, you know, you have this magazine, Discovering Women, and so talk to us a little bit about what your goal was, what your heart was for the magazine, and how you see it evolving.
Well, what I think, first of all, the magazine is just being like amazing. You know, I've been able to connect with amazing people,
That's for
friends,
sure.
like clients that know their friends, and you know, like it just, that's one of the best things. Like, that's like my older kid. You know, it's just like, yeah, the magazine is like my older baby. So, I mean, and you know, I just see more stuff happening, like people reaching out, and the feedback of people saying, oh, you know, I read this story and it's just amazing. Or even going out of the way, you know, from like, I'm the kind that connect. I just connect, actually just a few months ago, a lady that she was dealing with some issues, that her mom was diagnosed with colon cancer. And she was just a client. Actually, she's like a Facebook contact. I never see her in person. She was a client, right? And I connect her with Debbie, you know, Fitzgerald, that she had her mom was just diagnosed with colon cancer. I'm like, maybe you should guys talk to each other. And they both were like, oh my God, that was just amazing, you connect to each other. I just feel like I can be a medium to help people to connect. Like, I did that a lot even with clients. I just don't go on, okay, you want to buy an ad and they see you. No, I care about the people, I care about their business. I want them to, everybody do good and, you know, be happy. Just like, that's how I feel. And I think with the magazine, like many other projects are coming along, like it's opening. And, you know, our YouTube channel, we kind of get a little bit of a pause with the YouTube channels, but we're coming, actually, we're going to do another one this week. And we're going to have Paul, and it's going to be Evelyn and myself. And, you know, I just think